Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to FranTastic Insights, where we provide insights from some of the coolest people in franchising. My name is Alesia Visconti. I am the president and CEO of FranServe and Franchise Dictionary magazine. Now, FranServe is the largest franchise consulting organization in the world, and our mission is really very simple. We help change people's lives through franchise ownership, and we do that through a network of incredible franchisors and franchise consultants, all who help their candidates explore franchise opportunities. Now, today I'm excited. I have Tom Ryan. He's the Director of Franchise Development for Regis Corporation. Welcome to the show, Tom.
Thank you. Pleasure to be with you today. Happy
Wonderful
December
to have
1st.
you. What's that?
Yeah. Happy December 1st, as we were saying.
Yes, and as we said, where did the time go, right? We can't wait for this year to be over, and here it's December, but it is what it is. So yes, happy December.
Thank you.
Wonderful. So I am so happy that you're here with us. Great, brands, and we're so excited. So, I'd be really happy if you could share with our audience, a little bit about Regis Corporation and, what it does and your role with the company. And you could just explain to our listeners, that would be great.
It'd be my pleasure. And like I said, thanks again for having me. It's great to be with you. So, Regis Corporation, there used to be a time when everyone knew this brand. It was really the brand that our hair salons carried. Today, Regis Corporation is a house of brands, and we're the worldwide leader in the hair salon industry. We're the proud owners of Supercuts, male-forward value salon that really started the value salon industry out of California back in the 70s. We acquired it in the 90s. We've got nearly 3,000 Supercuts locations nationwide today. We're also the proud owners of a brand called SmartStyle, which is an exclusively in Walmart salon. A lot of people realize there's hair salons in there. They maybe don't realize that brand, and that's kind of the point. So we operate about 2,300 salons exclusively out of Walmart stores. We're also the proud owners of the dominant Canadian hair salon brand called FirstChoice Haircutters. We own Cost Cutters, which is a female forward value salon, today primarily throughout the Midwest, Mountain West, and Great Lakes states, but expanding nationally as well. And I'm also going to be excited to talk about a really cool up and coming brand of ours called Roosters Men's Grooming Center, which is a high-end kind of throwback with a modern twist men's barbershop. But add it all together, today we are north of 7,000 hair salons and growing rapidly. So like I said, very excited to be here and share a little bit about our company with you all today as well.
That is so exciting, and I know our listeners have learned something by hearing all of the different brands under that umbrella. And even I didn't know about the Walmart, being in the Walmart, the brand that you have there. So that's very exciting as well. And as you said, it's a family of brands, and I love that you have different niches for your customers and for your franchisees. So that's awesome. That's really awesome.
Well, I appreciate that, Alesia. One of the things that I think we like to talk about early and often is the fact that, our goal as the worldwide leader in the hair salon industry is to cover as much of the market share as we possibly can. And, you, for example, may have a desire to get your hair done from a place different than I might desire to get my hair done. And so really what we're trying to accomplish with those different brands, whether we're female forward, male forward, high end, mid tier, is we really want to focus on being perceived as the highest value that one can receive for hair services in their community. So I think it does catch a little bit of people by surprise, but it's really by design. We really want to service as many people out there as we possibly can.
Well, I think it's great because, as you said, everybody has different attitudes or ideas about how their hair should be done or where they want to get it done. So again, that's why I always joke that there's more than, vanilla ice cream, right? So everybody can have a flavor. And, that's what you're doing, right? You're providing a plethora of brands so that, the individual can decide either what's the best one for them to own or what's the best one for them to visit. So
that's
here's to you guys on your growth. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, great. Great. Now, I know when I ask this question, sometimes, I get the answer of everywhere, and certainly considering your umbrella, you may say the same thing. But, in terms of markets, is there any place that's hotter for you right now? I'm sure you have availability with the different brands, so that might be harder for you to answer. But
Yeah.
I know our listeners sometimes look for that. Are there certain areas that are hotter than others, or that you'd love to be able to get into, sooner?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, interesting. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head with it's a little bit of a complicated answer with our different brand offerings, certainly. But I would also say that, to piggyback on the conversation we just had, I think one of the great values here at Regis Corporation is a Regis franchise license to us is a Regis franchise license. So it's very common that we'll bring on a franchisee, for example, in a place like Dallas, Texas, that joins us to open up, buys a 3-pack to open up Supercut salons, and maybe gets those 3 stores open, comes back, opens a few more, and then they say, instead of opening Supercuts far across town in different trade areas, perhaps what I want to do is further penetrate these little trade areas, and maybe I'll now look into opening a high-end men's barbershop like Roosters. So we'll see a lot of that. What I always tell folks is, what I'm here to help you figure out is the right first move for you. That's really how we view this. There's a lot of different ways that folks can grow once they're a part of the Regis family of brands, whether it be into different salon brands of ours or even in different markets. So with that being said, we certainly have target markets. We've got communities and metro areas and states that we have a high desire to grow. Thinking off the top of my head, a lot of opportunity in St. Louis, a lot of opportunity in Kansas City, a lot of opportunity in Salt Lake City. But even in the large markets, a lot of room to grow in Seattle, a lot of room to grow in Chicago, Illinois. Really, most every market across the country, with just a few exceptions, is available for all of our brands. Part of what I help folks with, whether it be a franchise consultant, a franchise candidate, somebody that finds us, however that might happen, is, again, what's your market look like? What are the gaps in the market? Where do we stand in that market? So what's not only the short-term opportunity, but the best long-term opportunity?
And that makes perfect sense. And I think that's just amazing how, and smart on everybody's part, that you have franchisees who, again, go into a different brand under the Regis umbrella. And again, market can also be dependent on which brand is available in that marketplace. So great strategy in doing that, Tom, for both for your brands and for your franchisees.
Yeah, so far it's worked. So,
well, that's what matters, right? Now we're talking about franchise owners and franchisees, and can you share with us the traits that you look for when you're bringing somebody into the Regis Corporation, umbrella? What is it that you look for?
Absolutely. And look, a question that I think says a lot about you asking that question as well. It's as you and I both know, it's critically important. Really what we're trying to figure out, all of us, is a perfect match, right? And I often tell people on my first communication with them that I kind of joke and say, look, I'm the easiest guy in franchising to break up with. And I mean that wholeheartedly, because at the end of the day, the magic in franchising happens when we have the right person at the right time with the right brand. So what we spend a great deal of time vetting this out, both on behalf of not just us, but on behalf of the potential investors. The first thing we're looking for is exceptional communication skills. This is a people business, so we need folks that are going to be engaging. We need folks that, frankly, if you and I looked at as a potential customer or as a potential stylist, is this somebody I'm going to enjoy being led by, right? And that really leads to the second trait, which is leadership experience. And I kind of couple that with drivers of culture, right? And to clarify, it doesn't have to be experience, it has to be leadership ability. So are you somebody that is energized by putting others in a position to succeed, right? So that's critically important to us as well. Well-rounded business acumen, it's a little bit generic. but it certainly is an important one to point out. We don't need experts in finance. We don't need experts in marketing. We really need people that have a good breadth of experience in all the different functions that are pertinent to running any business, quite frankly. And the last one is kind of the most unusual. We're looking for high emotional quotient, high EQ. And that doesn't mean you need to be Mother Teresa. It doesn't mean that you have to have this big desire to get out there and change the world. But to us, what it really means is our business is very high touch. Our employees are not accountants. Our employees are artists. They're cosmetologists and barbers. They're really driven on the environment with which they work and the people that they work around and with. So again, I think there's a lot of relationship between those things that we're looking for, but that emotional quotient is certainly a big one for us as well.
Wonderful. Now, one of the things I did not hear you say, Tom, is that they needed to have a background in hair care.
Thank you for pointing that out. Not only is it not a requirement, look, it was certainly some exception. Stylists, barbers, I don't want to sit here and say they can't be successful business people because they've proven that they can be. What we found that really works in our model is, we're looking for the business builder. We're looking for the portfolio builder. There's a reason why Joe's Barbershop in Austin, Texas, or Amy's Salon in Minneapolis, Minnesota, often are restricted to be in one location salons or barbershops, right? They can't duplicate themselves. So what we're really looking for are folks to come in, obviously bring their capital, bring their transferable skills, and come in and find locations, work with us, and build teams. So the beautiful part about our model, I like to kind of say it's a Pete Rose model, to use a baseball reference. We're a player coach model. So all of our salons are run by salon managers that are also hairstylists, right? So what we're looking for is people to put them in a position to succeed, really make sure that we're finding the right people to fill those managerial roles in each salon. And when we get the right person there running that salon, they'll build the right team, which will take care of the customers and keep them coming back month after month after month after month. So you're exactly right. No hair salon or stylist experience necessary. And in a lot of cases, it's really not what we're looking for. We're looking for folks that can build those teams.
And I think our audience just had an aha moment, right? Because a lot of times they're attracted to, a category or a brand, and they think, oh, I'd love to do that, but that's just not in my background. But that's the whole beauty, right, of franchising, is it's teaching a success model, right? So it's the support, the operations, and teaching people who want to have the desire, who obviously want to pursue and have their own business. So again, audience, don't think you have to have, the whole hair care background. Tom's just said that you don't need that in order to be successful. So definitely keep that open mind about these brands. So thank you so much for that, Tom. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you also offered a discount for veterans. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Without getting too personal, my father was a first lieutenant in the Marine Corps, served in Vietnam. Like many of us, both of my grandfathers served in World War II. So yes, I mean, it's something that I think we are very passionate about. We offer a discount of $2,500 upon opening that first store. And as you can probably imagine, in our system, being that, build a portfolio, process-driven, focus on building the business. Franchisee, don't worry about focusing on knowing how to cut hair. We're looking for process-oriented people. And I think certainly, Alesia, as you and I both know, there's great proof that veterans certainly come with those skill sets and are highly attracted to franchise companies, and we're no exception.
Absolutely. Veterans and franchising go hand in hand. And we thank all of you veterans for your service. And thank you, Tom, for offering that discount to our servicemen and women. Thank you very, very much. Now, I'd like to go a little bit deeper now, Tom, and talk about, one of my favorite hashtags that I use on social media, and that is the hashtag of franchise strong. Now,
Yeah.
I'm very passionate about, the use of franchise strong, and I probably use it even more than I do my own company in hashtags, because to me, it embodies everything that we just talked about franchise community, caring people, passionate people, all dedicated to helping people become entrepreneurs and follow their dreams of business ownership. So
Yeah.
when I think about franchise strong, I think about that in good times and bad times, economy up, economy down, COVID, no COVID, the franchise community comes together to help people be successful as franchise owners.
Yeah.
So I'd be real curious, Tom, to hear what you feel and your thoughts about what franchise strong means to you and to your brands.
Yeah, it's a great hashtag. The first word that comes to my mind is community, right? It's a community that you and I are very much a part of, and it's the community I've been a part of my entire career, now 18 years. I'm aging myself a little bit, but right. And I go back to thinking about that idea of how it's our responsibility to help people find a perfect match, right? I think about perfect match. I think about perfect fit. I think about happy marriage. This is not about today. It's about tomorrow. And what do you want your tomorrow to look like? So the first words that come to my mind are community, this ideal of finding perfect match. Something that you and I, again, have heard many times, franchising is about being in business for yourself, but not by yourself, right? And we can be talking about your peers, your fellow franchisees. We can be talking about fellow business owners in your community. We can be talking about the relationship of franchise support and operations with franchise owners, the relationship between business owner and employee, employee and community, company and stakeholders with a public company, right? There's so much that can be packed in and unpacked from franchise strong, but those would be a few things that come to my mind. And I guess kind of related to that, you got my mind spinning a little bit that, as we're in the midst of this global pandemic, all of our lives have changed, right? And I think with few exception, I wish Target franchised, right? I'd be running to buy as many Target franchises as I could. But, with for the most part, virtually all businesses have been impacted by this, and most families have been impacted by this. And I think an important thing for folks to remember is the opportunity that a prospective owner talks with me about at Regis Corp, or with any of my colleagues at other franchise companies. We're not talking about a today opportunity, right? We're really talking about a 2021 opportunity, a 2022 opportunity. So I think it's really important that people keep in mind that when you look at this business, whatever the business is, and how it lives today and how it performs today, that is simply a snapshot in time. And it doesn't mean it's not relevant. You have to remember it's a snapshot in time. And for example, when you're looking at a Supercuts franchise, if you buy today, if you're awarded a franchise today, you're probably opening up that store in Q3 of next year, right? So it takes the time to source the real estate. It takes time to get the training completed. So I just think there's a really important lesson for us all to not discount the time that we're in today, but to remember that you really need to be future looking. And frankly, that's what franchising is all about anyway. I always joke with folks that the conversation I have with you at annual conference 5 years from now over a beer or a cup of coffee should be a very different conversation than we're having today. We're going to laugh about the stress that you had thinking about making this investment and opening a hair salon. And we're really going to enjoy the present reality of what does your life look like now that you've got 5 of these open or 10 of these open. So I don't want to go on a rant, but it just kind of reminded me that I think that we all need to keep in mind that franchise is strong and will continue to be strong and will survive this pandemic And I think there's a lot of reason to believe it'll be even more successful in the future.
Well, thank you, Tom. And I will tell you, when you're speaking, it's right from the heart. I can hear it. The audience can hear it. I can feel it. So, your passion comes up, your sincerity comes up. And I agree with you. I do think that, people, the thing we hear the most over and over again when we help, our candidates become franchise owners is this simple sentence: I wish I had done it sooner.
Yeah, right.
We hear that all the time.
Right.
So it's always so normal to have a excitement and a little nervousness, and am I doing the right thing? And then, of course, as you said, they look back and say, man, why didn't I do this sooner? This is a wonderful thing. So thank you for putting that into perspective too, right? I mean, obviously we're in it now, but you've got to keep your eye on the prize for your future, for the candidate and their family. So thank you for that, Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Now, I appreciate your time. I know everybody is busy and everybody is, running around like crazy these days, but I have to thank you so much, Tom, for coming on and sharing your fantastic insights with us. And audience, I'm going to thank you for your time too. Now, be sure to subscribe to our channel so you can stay up to date with our more of our videos. But I'm going to just turn it back to you, Tom, and say any last words before we wrap up today.
Well, Alesia, I guess the first thing I would say is just thank you. Thanks for the platform. I think it's really great what you're doing. Hey, going back to hashtag franchise strong, you're doing your part, not just this way, but certainly with FranServe to build up that community and expand that community. And I think, as you and I certainly agree, it's a pretty cool community to be a part of. So no, I just greatly appreciate the time, and thanks for having me on to share some insights.
You bet. Well, we are a family. So again, whatever role we play, franchisor, franchise consultants, franchise magazines, whatever it is the Fran family, right? So on all of that, we're connected. So again, Tom, thank you so much. And I just have to say it, have a fantastic day.
Thank you. You as well.